Imagine a workshop tucked away on a quiet street, but not an ordinary workshop. As rain streams down the windows beneath the heavy wooden door, there's not just light seeping through. If you look carefully enough, sometimes you'll see golden shimmer, as though it's not light at all, but stardust trickling out. Inside, hundreds of clocks line the walls, but these clocks don't merely measure time. Some of them hold memories, some preserve dreams, and some whisper secrets from the future. In the center, at his workbench, sits a man. His name is Cornelius Moonshadow, but the townsfolk call him the Timekeeper, because he doesn't repair clocks, he reconnects them to life itself. Tonight, before Cornelius lies a very special timepiece. This clock has been silent for 30 years, but within it, a story still trembles, a secret waits, a spell slumbers, and tonight, that spell will awaken. Take a deep breath, let your eyes gently close, and allow this magical world to embrace you. When you touch the door, the wood feels warm, as though it's alive, as though it recognizes you. The door creaks open softly, and in that moment, the world transforms. Outside is cold, wet, gray, but when you cross this threshold, golden light embraces you, warmth that heats not just your body, but your very soul. Your first step. The wooden floor plays a gentle melody beneath your feet, not a creak, almost a song. Each step, a different note, as though the floor is speaking to you. Your eyes slowly scan the space. On the right wall, grandfather clocks stand tall. But these are no ordinary timepieces. On one face, moon phases shift in real time. Another's pendulum isn't solid metal. It flows like liquid silver, yet never spills. Inside the third, there's a tiny sky. Stars that actually twinkle. On the left wall, cuckoo clocks. But the birds aren't carved wood. Some of them seem to breathe. Their wings flutter ever so slightly. Their eyes blink occasionally. One holds a tiny golden key in its beak. No one knows what it unlocks. Hanging from the ceiling, between crystal chandeliers, an old telescope. Why would a clockmaker's workshop have a telescope? Because Cornelius measures not just minutes, but centuries. He tracks not just hours, but seasons, planetary movements, the pulse of the universe itself. And at the workbench, beneath the magical lamp, Cornelius. Cornelius Moonshadow appears to be in his 70s. But when you look into his eyes, you sense he's far older, perhaps centuries old, perhaps timeless. His hair isn't white, it's silver, truly metallic silver. When light catches it, faint blue shimmer radiates from the strands, long and tied back with a thin leather cord. His eyes, deep blue. But sometimes when the angles shift, purple tones appear, sometimes green glints, as though his eyes change like the aurora borealis. His face is lined. But these aren't just age lines, they're story lines, each crease a memory. The fine lines around his eyes are traces of 1,000 smiles. The deep lines on his forehead are maps of profound thoughts. His hands are magical, long, slender fingers. But they're not just flesh and bone. Sometimes, if you watch very carefully, you can see the finest golden veins at his fingertips, as though tiny lightning flows within them. These hands never tremble. Never. Because Cornelius works not only in the physical realm, but in the realm of energy. Every touch, intentional, every movement, a spell. His clothing is timeless, a deep purple velvet vest. Beneath it, a cream linen shirt. Sleeves rolled up, but silver bracelets encircle his wrists, ancient runes carved into them. These runes sometimes glow faintly. Around his neck, a thin chain. At its end, a small glass vial. Inside, a liquid that glows blue. No one has asked what it is, but some whisper it's compressed moonlight. When Cornelius works, he doesn't speak, but sometimes his lips move, as though reciting incantations in an ancient tongue. Sometimes his fingers trace patterns in the air, as though writing invisible notes. And now, he sits before that special clock. In the center of the workbench, resting on a blue velvet cushion, the clock waits. But this is no ordinary pocket watch. The casing is brass, but beneath centuries of patina, strange patterns emerge. Spirals, geometric shapes, markings resembling hieroglyphs. At first glance, they seem decorative, but if you stare long enough, they appear to move. The watch lid is closed, but engraved on it is an eye. And this eye, sometimes, just sometimes, it seems to blink. Cornelius lifts the watch into his hands. Beneath his fingers it trembles slightly, almost like a heartbeat, very faint, very distant, but still there. "You're still alive," Cornelius whispers. "Good. Then we can wake you." But awakening clocks isn't simple repair work, because every clock isn't just a mechanism. It carries a soul, especially old clocks, especially clocks that have been loved, carried, wept over for centuries. This watch was brought to him 3 weeks ago, a young woman, her grandmother's legacy. "My grandmother always said, 'This watch holds a family secret, but I never saw it work. Can you repair it?'" Cornelius had taken the watch, held it for a long time, closed his eyes, listened, not just with his ears, with his soul. And he heard it, very deep, very quiet, a whisper, a woman's voice. "Please, remember." "Yes," Cornelius had said, "I can repair this clock, but I must wait for a special night." "What kind of night?" the young woman asked. "A night when rain brings dreams, when the full moon hides behind clouds, and when time opens its memory." The woman hadn't understood, but she trusted. And tonight is that night. Cornelius places the watch directly beneath the lamp, but then he extinguishes the light. The workshop plunges into darkness, but a second later, other lights awaken. From the clocks on the walls, faint glimmers begin to emanate. The numbers on the faces glow with phosphorescent light. Between the gears, blue-green luminescence seeps through. The bracelets on Cornelius's wrists begin to shimmer. The runes awaken one by one, gold, silver, sapphire blue, and the liquid in the glass vial around his neck, now glowing brighter blue, as though a tiny star dwells within. Cornelius takes a deep breath, closes his eyes, and begins speaking in the ancient tongue, Chronos, Pater Temporis, Tempus, Memoria, Anima. The words hang in the air. They create invisible vibrations. Glass objects hum softly. Then Cornelius opens the watch lid. Click, and from within, light bursts forth. Golden, soft light. But this light dances in the air, flows like liquid, yet doesn't spill, forms a small pool on the workbench. Cornelius smiles. "Hello, old friend. I'm glad to see you, because this light is the watch's soul, its memories, the stories it carries." Cornelius dips his fingers into the light and closes his eyes, and he sees. In Cornelius's mind, images appear. First image, a woman, young, beautiful, brown hair, hazel eyes, dressed in 1920s fashion, this watch in her hand. She's smiling, waving to someone. "I'll come back," she says, "I promise." Second image, a train station, steam, crowds. The woman looking out the train window, pressing the watch to her chest, tears in her eyes. Third image, a dark room, the woman in bed, aged now, hair turned white, but still, the watch is with her, under the pillow. "Don't forget," she whispers, "don't forget." Fourth image, a young girl, finding the watch, taking it from a box. "What's this, Grandma?" she asks. The old woman smiles. "This is our secret. But now isn't the time to tell you. One day, when the time is right, the watch will tell you. Fifth image. The watch stopped. As the mechanism freezes, it releases one final whisper. Remember. Cornelius opens his eyes. His breath quickens. He understands. You're a love clock, he whispers. War separated two people. The woman waited, but her beloved never returned. And you carry that waiting, that pain, that hope, that endless love. The watch trembles, confirming. I will make you work again, Cornelius says, but simply working isn't enough. I'll give you a new purpose. You'll no longer carry pain but memory, not sorrow but love. And he begins. Cornelius doesn't use ordinary tools. First, from a special pouch, he retrieves a crystal wand. Its tip is rose quartz. This stone connects to the heart chakra. It carries the energy of love and healing. He moves the wand slowly over the watch, drawing circles, spirals, infinity symbols. The light within the watch grows brighter. The golden hue gradually shifts to pink. Release your pain, Cornelius whispers. You no longer need to carry it. Then he takes out another small bottle, purple liquid inside, lavender essence steeped in moonlight. He lets one drop fall into the watch. The liquid evaporates the moment it touches the mechanism, but the scent spreads, lavender, amber, and something indefinable. Perhaps the scent of time, perhaps the scent of memory. Now, the physical repair begins. Cornelius removes the gears, but he doesn't clean them normally. He wipes them with a special cloth woven with silver thread. Silver purifies negative energy. As he wipes each gear, he recites ancient incantations, each word a purification, each movement a spell. The mainspring is worn. As Cornelius installs a new spring, he breathes energy into it, literally breathes. But with his breath comes a bluish light. This light embeds itself into the metal of the spring. The escapement wheel is stuck. Cornelius touches it. Beneath his finger, the metal warms, seems to slightly melt, and reshapes itself. Perfect. All parts are slowly put into place, but not just with screws, with energy bonds too. Between Cornelius's fingers, invisible threads weave. Each part connects not only mechanically, but spiritually. And finally, the main cover closes. Click. Cornelius turns the winding stem. One turn. Silence. 2 turns. A faint tremor. 3 turns. And tick, tock, tick, tock. But this tick-tock sound is different, not the usual metallic sound. This sound is musical, as though tiny bells are chiming, as though whispers are echoing. Cornelius smiles. Welcome, old friend. Welcome to your new life. The watch is working, but not just that. It's doing something different now. On the face, hours and minutes are displayed, but behind them, as though there's a second layer. Sometimes when angles shift, tiny images appear on the dial. Cornelius looks carefully. A woman's silhouette, a train, a waving hand. Yes, he whispers, you carry your story. But it no longer saddens you. Now it only reminds. He holds the watch up to the light. The metal surface is brighter now, as though washed clean, purified. Cornelius places the watch back on the velvet cushion and writes a note. This watch carries your great-grandmother's heart. Each tick-tock is an echo of her love. Whoever wears it will never be alone, because love transcends time. He places the note beside the watch, and now his work is done. Cornelius leans back, takes a deep breath, closes his eyes. The clocks around him continue working. Hundreds of tick-tocks create an orchestra, each with a different tone, different rhythm, but all in harmony. Cornelius stands. walks slowly through the workshop, stops by each clock, touches some, smiles at some, whispers to some, "Good night." He approaches the window, looks outside. The rain has lightened, now just gentle drizzle. In the sky, clouds are parting, and then the full moon appears. Moonlight filters into the workshop. Silver light covers everything. In this light, the clocks look even more magical. Cornelius stands before the window. Moonlight falls on his face, and in that moment, his age seems to shift. Sometimes younger, sometimes much older, sometimes timeless. "Another night done," he says to himself. "Another clock saved, another story preserved." He puts on his coat, but this coat isn't ordinary. Deep blue velvet with silver thread patterns woven throughout. Star maps, planetary orbits. He puts on his hat, wide-brimmed, somewhat like a wizard's hat. At its peak, a small feather, but this feather is from a phoenix, a gift to Cornelius long, long ago. He walks to the door, but before leaving he looks at the workshop one more time. "See you tomorrow, old friends." New stories await, and he steps outside. The street is wet but magical. Moonlight dances in the water. Every puddle is like a portal. Cornelius walks carefully, because some puddles truly might be portals. A cat emerges from the shadows, white, blue-eyed. It looks at Cornelius. "Good evening, Moonshadow," it meows. Cornelius smiles. "Good evening, Luna." "How's the hunting?" The cat swishes its tail. "Dreams are plentiful tonight. I caught 3, and it vanishes into the darkness, because this street isn't ordinary. This is between two worlds, the normal and the magical, the mundane and the extraordinary. And Cornelius is the guardian between these worlds. He arrives at his home, a small house, but inside is infinite. When he opens the door, the scent of books wafts out, and occasionally the scent of stardust. He enters. The fireplace ignites on its own. The flames burn in blue-green hues. He settles into his armchair, opens a book, old leather-bound, pages filled with handwritten notes, but he can't read. His eyes grow heavy. It's been a long day, magical but exhausting. He closes the book, heads to bed. His bed is soft as a cloud, his blanket woven from starlight. He lies down, his eyes close, and dreams begin. The workshop is quiet, but alive. The clocks continue working. Tick-tock, tick-tock. But at the end of this night, one more clock has joined the living timepieces. One more story saved from oblivion. And tomorrow someone else will come. Another clock, another story. Because Cornelius Moonshadow isn't just a clockmaker. He's a time weaver, a memory keeper, a spellcaster. And in this world, there are a few more like him, in different cities, in different times, all performing the same duty, protecting time, keeping stories alive, making love immortal. And you, listener, perhaps one day you too will stumble upon such a workshop. Perhaps on a rainy night, on a dark street, golden light will seep from beneath a door. And if you enter, if your heart is open, if your soul is ready, perhaps you too will discover a secret. Perhaps you too will understand that something exists beyond time. Perhaps you too will begin to believe in magic. And that night, walking home, you'll still hear tick-tock, 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 the heartbeat of time, the whisper of magic, and the eternal echo of love. Now, like Cornelius, it's your time to rest. Close your eyes, slow your breath, and imagine. You're in that workshop. Clocks are ticking, rain is falling, everything is safe. Everything is peaceful. Everything is magical. And slowly, sleep